Welcome back to the Arclight podcast. Today for episode number 8. My name is Eric, and I am being joined once again by Jim Bob.
Hello.
And we have a special guest today, our good friend and unofficial official manager, Zane.
I go by Big Management.
Management.
Yeah.
On Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, only Twitter, though.
So it's great to have him here finally. He once again, if some of you remember, I did mention last episode that for the week we missed, I was originally going to try to get him on here. But sadly, due to COVID and other stuff, that just didn't work out.
We also shout him out quite a bit because he has some great topics a lot of time.
Yeah, I just didn't want to be on the podcast while Eric had the ick.
Yeah,
true.
Fair enough. And so, yeah, a lot of our more recent topics have come from Zane, especially the one last week. I think the one that Jim Bob brought up at the end of the week was something that Zane suggested.
Yes. Can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but it was a good...
Wasn't it pre-orders?
It was pre-orders,
pre-orders.
yes. It was pre-orders. So on today's podcast, we're going to go over some more unique discussions. No real big news that happened this past week. So we're going to be talking a little bit about Pokemon Unite. It's been a whole year since the game has been out. It's celebrating its first anniversary. And we have 3 different unique perspectives on it today here at the table. Fighting games. Does the free-to-play market work for them? And should they be free-to-play or not? Having an opinion on games. Do you need to watch or do you need to play a game in order to have an opinion? Or is watching it okay? And then we're going to end it off today on a little neat discussion on video game items. Some of our personal favorites and what they meant to us back then. So, but right before we get into that, let's have a little bit of casual talk here. Zane, you're the guest today. What you been up to recently?
Other than behind the scenes managing the podcast unofficially, I pull the strings for all these puppets. I make them talk about what I want.
There we go.
I am like pulling the strings. I get them to talk about whatever I want. Next week they're going to be talking about the rising unemployment rate and the shrinking middle class. So
Definitely.
the issues.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one, but I really want to hear about it. So but mostly Unite's out, so that's what we've been playing. Every now and again we do get in a couple games have been listed.
Ooh,
That's been kind of. I have a love-hate relationship with that game so far.
Eric has the unique perspective of not liking shooters, not particularly sticking with them. So I want to hear your thoughts. How does it feel comparatively to other shooters? It is a free-to-play shooter that's totally off-the-wall choice to not be on Steam. You have to download the client through their website.
their website, yeah.
Really, I did not know that because I play it on my PlayStation. But I mean, it's good fun with the boys, honestly. And that's what's really keeping me playing it. Outside of that, it does feel like generic shooter number 24. But like, it's interesting though because of the squad mechanic. It makes it feel like you have multiple chances before you have to worry about actually waiting for a respawn timer, which is nice, especially for someone who's not as good at shooters as me. And surprisingly, I feel like just the aiming and everything feels better. It's not even like auto aim. I feel like I just have better aim in this game than I do in most other shooters. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe it's because of the older guns you use in this one or whatnot. I don't know.
The one thing I can say about the gunplay is that all guns pack a hit.
Yes.
And with it being like a party system where you can switch between your squad mates, especially after you die immediately, I think that lends so well to it because if you were respawn dying a million times just as a single person to these hard-hitting weapons, that would be a shit game.
Yeah, I think it does a great job at keeping you in the game, for the most part. I think that's one of the big parts is that you do feel like you're doing a lot, the enemy is doing a lot, you're constantly dying, you're snapping to you're going from Private Jones to Lieutenant Dan, just snapping around in the battlefield. You can give orders into the game. You can get specific with it. Don't do that. I'm not that sweaty.
Yeah, I used to be in the party of just sending my squad to the point. But I found that just walking around with your squad, being able to switch through them as you fight, is just a lot better.
Yeah. The sweating of making them hold the point isn't what I feel like the system was meant to for.
Oh, yeah.
Even though that might be a practical play, that doesn't feel like that's
It's not
what
really
the
fun.
fun's built
Yeah.
around. So yeah, other than that,
Not to mention our hour and a half game the other night, though.
Oh my god.
my god,
The game that would not end.
we were held hostage by Enlisted for an hour and a half because Jim Bob wouldn't close. He wouldn't carry us to victory like he said he
I
would.
had 200 kills. When I say this game was an hour and a half long, I'm not exaggerating. I might be lowballing it, honestly.
We lost.
We lost.
Jim Bob had 200 kills and we lost because the game took so long. Half the players left, so it was like a 7v15.
Yeah, it was rough. Yeah. And it was like a capture the point thing where you had to hold all 5 of the points, and we kept going back and forth between point 4 for like the first hour. Like we would get point 3, and then point 4 we would never be able to actually grab. And we had to run back to point 3 to defend point 3 again, and then go back to try and get point 4, and it just never worked.
On the other side of me having 200 kills, I think... So, one death counts as a whole squad wipe.
Yeah.
I think we had someone on our team with 2 kills and 10 squad wipes of their own accord, which is insane, not only because that's probably like at the minimum 30 to 50 people that they played through. That means none of their computers as well, who sometimes snap onto you real hard, got 0 kills as well.
Impressively bad.
Impressively bad.
He had to be sitting at spawn most of the game.
Just doing nothing.
2 kills is impressive. Because, like Jim Bob said, when you're not controlling your other squad mates, they get kills for you. His own robots, his AI, wouldn't even get kills.
Just insane, especially over an hour and a half. But I really enjoy Enlisted when it's not a battle for time.
Absolutely.
Eric, I don't know why we. I'm gonna ask, but I don't know why because I know what you're gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've been playing Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
What's been going on? As a listener, how do you keep coming back when you're done? You finished all content right now. What keeps you coming back?
That's not exactly correct at the moment. I have not finished all of it. I've been waiting to play the newest raid has been out for like a month or 2 now, and I still have just not played it. Not because I'm not interested in it, but because like I said a couple episodes ago, I leveled Black Mage up to level 90, which I basically did that in all my free time and kind of burnt myself out a little bit by doing so. And I wanted to play through the raid as Black Mage. So once I do eventually get back on here in the next like week or so, outside of helping Jim Bob or Cameron and Pat leveling their characters through the game, I'm going to tackle that raid, especially because the next big major content drop is late August, which is going to add... They're going to add a new dungeon, 4 new raids. They're adding the first ever like expert dungeons, which are going to be neat. Mm-hmm. They're adding a new boss fight, like one of the big massive boss fights, like Ifrit or something like that. They're adding a new one of that. And they're also adding the Island Sanctuary, which is basically Harvest Moon in Final Fantasy XIV.
I see.
Never heard of it. Mid-game fell off.
Speaking of Ifrit, I just, in my casual playthrough that I'm playing at the moment, I just beat Ifrit.
Oh, nice.
Finally got my Chocobo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finally flying through some tasks, so hopefully I catch up sooner than later.
Where's Balthier in Final Fantasy 14?
It's funny you mentioned that. There's actually in Stormblood's post-game content, there is a raid series called Return to Ivalice. And Balthier's not in it, but Fran is, because the world of 12 is canonically in the same world as 14. It's an ancient ruins now, but because Viera lived forever, Fran is still there. Fran still exists.
That's baller. That's a bog moment for me.
Fran shows up and helps you with like a resistance in that. It's neat. And that's also how they introduced that Viera are in canon in that world, and that's the next expansion, Shadowbringers, is what added the Viera as playable race.
That's so dope.
I see.
All right. Unite Ma.
Big Unite. So I'll start because for me, Unite was my first time playing last night. These other 2 have played a lot before. It was interesting. MOBAs, I can really get into a MOBA for a little bit. But I think I'm starting to realize I just really enjoy these MOBAs that don't have a shop, that just are so streamlined. You know what you want to do. You just have to pick some talents here and there. Like, here's the Storm, this game, Pokemon Unite. I think League of Legends, and I've never played Dota, but I know Dota has this whole shop system. I think it just takes away from the actual gameplay.
I think I agree with you on that a little bit. As someone who casually does enjoy these, like I really like Here's the Storm. Even though it's a hot take, I did like the card system from Paragon over a shop system. And then now you got like
Wild.
And now you've got Pokemon Unite here, which is like Here's the Storm light, very much so.
Very light.
Yeah, you still have your objectives you go play when they pop up for time, and you instead of having your set skills throughout the game, you just pick through different skill trees that give you different abilities that completely change the way the Pokemon plays. Like Charizard could either play as a range character or an up close melee character. It's super neat how that changes. But yeah, so as Jim Bob mentioned, he just started last night for the first time. I think we played like 7 or 8 matches last night with him.
I really enjoyed it.
It's doing pretty good.
It was really good.
I have been playing Unite since the beginning, but I did fall off for like about half a year, came back for the anniversary. I've been really enjoying a lot of the changes and all the new Pokemon they've added within the past like half a year I haven't played. And Zane has been playing pretty consistently throughout the entire year.
I say it's a mid-game, and I play every night. I've missed one battle pass, but like completing it. So I got it. I didn't finish it, and I regret it heavily. It's a shame on my honor.
Oh no, you missed a tiny bit of drip. Oh no.
Joke's on you. So I on Twitter, I downloaded Twitter recently. Big Management, US. Big Management US. Sorry, plug. Always be plugging. But basically, I've gotten into the Unite community, and let me tell you, there's a couple of crybabies. I know this game's meant for 4-year-olds, but these crybabies are like 20 plus, because they just released that the Battle Pass skins were exclusive, and now they released another option that you can basically pay for them at a later date. They took away that. They took away the limited time only of virtual skins for your virtual animal, and boy, are these turbo virgins on Twitter really upset about it. They are truly like, well, I need it. I need this skin.
I think the kind of people that are doing that are the kind of people that gatekeep. Oh, you don't have this skin from the first battle pass. You're not a true fan of the game.
Which, by the way, fun fact, that's one of the things that came out with this year anniversary is the one back when the battle pass was 100 tiers to get through. The 100 tier skin, the pirate and Cinderace, exclusive, and was Switch exclusive initially, is now available just to purchase through the current battle pass.
Yeah, it's crazy that they want to gatekeep a skin from a 4-year-old as if once because there's no value to it. It's not like what's CS:GO where you can trade, sell. Like there is a tangible value put to your virtual clout, you know.
Oh yeah.
But these turbo virgins on Twitter are people that buy like NFTs, you know. They're like, well, it's the blockchain. They want their stuff to be valuable.
Oh yeah.
And
and the only way that would be valuable, I feel, would be if you're actually like going to sell your account. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I get that. I think that's something people are worried about because that's sadly a mindset with MOBAs where like League, you'll sit there and people sell off their accounts once they're finally done with the game and make money back on that and stuff like that. But at the same time, like I don't see how you sell a Unite account, especially if you're playing on the Switch, where it's tied to your Nintendo account.
It's just cringe crybabies, wanting to feel cool because they have something that other people don't.
Oh yeah, true. I kind of get it to an extent, but at the same time, it is nice to see people be able to get the skins they missed. Because like someone like me, who I played very heavily for like the first 3 months of the game or so, but dropped off the past half year, I can go back and get some of these skins. I was like, oh man, I didn't even know that was in there. I should probably go get that now. Once they eventually pop up to re-get, you know?
Or like someone like me that just started playing last night, I could be like, oh, this is a cool skin. And I can actually like go and buy if I want to, instead of just saying, oh, this was from like Battle Pass 2. I can never get this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But on the top, so they've just added the emblem system to the game, and I don't know how to feel about it. Honestly, I am torn. On one hand, it's new content. It makes it feel a lot fresher. But I think overall, I'm not an emblem enjoyer.
What are emblems?
That's right. You haven't had to experience them just yet because we didn't really introduce you to all the newer systems yet. Emblems are something you can earn through the little energy reward thing. When you're playing through the game, you get energy at the end of every game, and if you get enough of it, you can turn it in for like technically like a loot drop thing. So you can either pick through the loot drop system there with the energy rewards. You can either pick clothes or these new emblems. The emblems basically are kind of like an arcana system, almost like from like League of Legends, where you get these things and you equip them, and they give you certain stat bonuses and stat debuffs. And if you have so many of a specific matching color scheme, they also give you even further buffs, like by a percentage or so.
Let's see.
They're in theory, they're really neat. In practice, you can pay to win with them, sadly, at the moment.
Yeah, in practice, you can only get them from random chance loot boxes, basically, on which emblems you get. And so I feel personally very unlucky. I get a lot of doo-doo fart emblems. And
so basically what made Diablo Immortal super cringe?
Kind of.
So it's right, especially in the infancy of it right now, these people who have nothing but time, to play the game. It's summer vacation for kids, they got all sorts of stuff to do that. But they get to play, get these emblems, farm them up. I get like an hour, 2 hours after work to get as many games as I can in, get some random emblems, hopefully piece together a build. And
I feel you.
And there's two that are really strong. It's cooldown reduction, so spamming abilities.
That sounds strong.
And crit, just increasing the odds that you deal buku damage.
That does sound pretty good.
Yeah. Right now, with my limited amount of emblems, that's what they're called. I have a build for just basic attack damage and basic special attack damage right now. Those are my two separate builds because those are I don't feel like I need to delve any further into that at the moment because I don't have enough to delve any further at the moment.
I feel you.
I think that basically covers it. Otherwise, I love that they constantly add new Pokemon.
And it's such a easy. I can grab from the literal 1,000 Pokemon that Pokemon has, and it's just so easy, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're picking some weird ones recently. Like we had Azumarill. I almost said Azumarill thanks to Jim Bob's earlier pronunciation.
Right.
Azumarill, it was a neat pick. We're about to get Buzzwole on Wednesday, which is a very interesting pick.
Very excited.
But there's a decent amount of the popular Pokemon though too. Like we're about to get Tyranitar after Buzzwole.
Ooh.
They've been adding evolutions recently, which have been big hits. Of course, you got all three of the Kanto starters. You got Pikachu. But then there's the oddball picks that just are neat because they can shine in this game to where they can't shine in the regular Pokemon games.
I would have never put Duraludon in this game, but now that they did, he's one of my favorite Pokemon.
I've never hated a Pokemon more that I didn't know who or where it's from than Trevenant.
Oh my god.
You don't like Haunted Tree?
I don't know what game that's from, but I'm never going to play it.
Gen 6?
Was that Black and White?
No, that was Gen 6. That was X and Y, I want to say.
I see.
I think it was X and Y.
Yeah, because they introduced both the Grass Ghosts in that. Pumpkaboo and Trevenant both came from that.
There's obviously busted characters, but nothing like... I don't think anything breaks the game yet, from what I've been playing.
I think you're correct. Like, even some of the more annoying ones, at least from my perspective, like Pikachu and Lucario are both really, really rough to deal with, and Trevenant, if he's popping off, is really rough to deal with. But at the end of the day, you can kind of still get around them if you communicate and you play well. And then, like, it's funny because like I've been saying recently, I picked up Hoopa recently, and Hoopa's like okay at best during the game, but the moment Zapdos pops off and you have your ult, you just pop that off and you basically get a free Zapdos as long as they don't all target you immediately. You just win a team fight.
Yeah, I'd say so. That'd probably be the this it's a weird gripe I'd give it is Zapdos. That's the only because it's a very simplified game because I don't it's made for 4 and up. Like they can't. That's why it's so simplified. It's very bare bones. I very much like that. You know, I like that I can turn my brain off for a MOBA instead of have to last hit, gold manage, make sure my carry's getting fed. You know, I just get to brain off, play the game. But it does all feel like it comes down to Zapdos.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Every match, and then whoever wins that usually wins the game. But, you know, that's how it is. Every time you lose Zapdos, you complain about it, and every time you win because of Zapdos, you feel like you popped off. You feel like I totally didn't just cheese them, and then they're sitting there in their Discord call like Zapdos is broken. What a stupid design.
That's exactly how
I
it
will
goes.
say. Last night I kept asking, how do I use my abilities without locking onto people? And no one was answering me. But during that last game, I finally figured out you use the right joystick to aim your shit. And I
feel stupid, yeah.
I finally started popping off real good.
He was asking that, and we were like, what are you talking about?
We were talking about like the auto locking system for like minions versus like champions and stuff.
Dog.
It's like playing like Mortal Kombat with your little brother, and you won't tell him how to do like throw your hat. You're just sitting there spamming your special moves, and he's like, "How are you doing that?" I'm not telling
you. So speaking of fighting games.
Oh yeah, true. That is the next topic here.
Segue.
Speaking of fighting games. We had this question come from Pat, I believe. Should they be free to play? Yes or no?
No. Next topic.
My answer is I can go either way. I can see fighting games like big one right now is Multiverses. I can see how they're just making money off of people buying skins, you know? Or I think in online you have to like play to unlock new characters, or you can pay for it.
Yes, that is correct.
I can see how you can make money off of that way, and it not be that bad. But then there's games like Smash, where you not only have to buy the game and then buy all the DLC characters. So I can go either way.
I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you there. I think free to play is not the future, because what this shit has shown me is that it's straight up paywalling you for the entire roster. The appeal of a fighting game is the roster. And then as soon as I start, I get to pick. I haven't played it other than one match right before recording. You don't get your full roster playing online. I imagine you get to pick one character.
So how that works, at least when I started up, I don't know if they're going to change it, because currently the game is in open beta at the moment. It's not a finished product yet. Mm-hmm. But currently what they're doing for us is when you boot up the game for the first time, it asks you to go play the tutorial. And by playing the tutorial, you immediately get Wonder Woman at the moment. Outside of that, it starts you off with, for online play at least, local play, which is the nice part of this. If you play on local play, which is great for tournaments and stuff, every character is unlocked. The only thing you don't have unlocked are the skins, which is understandable. But all the characters are playable on local play at any time. But to play online, you start off with, if you play the tutorial, Wonder Woman, Shaggy, Harley Quinn, Jake the dog, and there was somebody else.
Oh, so you don't even get to pick.
No.
Arya Stark?
No, you don't start with Arya, no.
Probably Rain Dog, right?
No, you don't. Rain Dog's unlockable.
Steven?
No.
Who's the support you start with?
You don't start with a support.
Cringe.
Yeah. You start with Shaggy, who's like a brawler. Jake, who's a brawler.
Superman, who's a heavy.
Superman, you don't start with. I had to buy Superman. Well, I didn't buy him. I unlocked him with the coins in the game.
Bugs?
No,
Or
surprisingly.
Tom and Jerry?
No, neither of those. Those are the only two mage characters, and neither of them you start with.
That is why. This just proves why it shouldn't be free to play.
You've brought me onto your side, because I'm thinking about it. Since it is free to play, they could just stop adding characters whenever they want.
They could, yeah.
But here's the big kicker. So I can already imagine it's happened. So Eric, have you? I don't know how many characters you've gotten or all that, but I imagine you're like, man, I can't wait to test out Iron Giant online, and then you catch hard L's, and now you're stuck with a character that now that you've got to play against other people, not an AI. You know, you can only because you can practice on AI, go into the lab, as they call it, as the youths call it. You know,
That's actually what they call it in multiverses. Too.
No
It's literally called
shot.
the lab.
Same.
I was no shot. But so yeah, you get to you save up your coins, your little virtual dosh. You buy Iron Giant, and then you catch hard L's, and you hate how he plays against other people. And now you're stuck with him, and you can't. You have to rebuild up all of your money
to get
another character.
Luckily have not run into that yet. Every character I have purchased with the in-game coins so far has been fairly solid. So the ones I've purchased so far have been Superman and Garnet. Both of them, Superman is currently my main, and Garnet is a fairly solid brawler character. A lot of options there. So far, both of them are pretty good. The only characters I would be concerned with would be probably buying what they consider the expert type characters, the ones that take a lot of they have a lot of in-game mechanics that deal with them. Yeah, so someone like Arya Stark, who has a lot of tech, she's considered an expert character. Same with
Velma.
Which is weird because they classify her as a support, but she definitely does a lot of damage. So I don't know why they classified her as a support. But yeah, those characters so far, luckily, like I said, it outside of maybe Iron Giant, just because Iron Giant's good in 2v2s as a support. 1v1, he's not that great. But every character so far that I've played or seen seems to be fairly balanced right now. There's not really outside maybe Taz, because he has the Meta Knight Brawl spin at the moment. They have no clue how to balance it right now without possibly just getting rid of it. That's the only real character that I think is a huge problem in the game right now.
So the more I think about you unlocking a character and it's just being dog, it's making me think of MOBAs again,
It
with
is
League of
MOBAs.
Legends and Pokemon Unite. But then it's making me think of more they have free rotations where you can test them out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Multiverses has. I don't think I've seen that
doubt
yet.
it.
I mean, they'd have to.
It depends.
They
you
should.
know?
Let me rephrase. They should.
I don't think they do currently, but once again, it's also still open beta,
And there's
so that
only,
might
10
change
characters
before
or
it
something, so.
it's I think they're at 16 or 17 characters now with LeBron. Yeah.
So I think we answered the Eric. What yes or no? We got Jim Bob. Are you still on?
I'm
yes?
Team No now.
Team no. I'm on Team no.
It's weird because from a perspective of looking at the numbers currently, even in just being an open beta for a week now, Multiverses is the most played fighting game on record on Steam, and we can only assume that's the same for the consoles at this point in time because it's free, anybody can play it, and it seems very popular. It's popping off everywhere.
Well, you say on Steam, but Smash isn't on Steam.
No, it's not, but Smash is also restricted to a single console.
All Stars popped off the week
true.
it was out, and now it is dead.
Dead.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes, but that was also a paid game that people just realized was dog as soon as they
that game was dog.
Yeah, but I feel like this could be the same thing.
Well, we'll see what
Because
happens
it's
with
free. The cost of entry is nothing but time.
Right, and that's the thing. I think because people still play Brawlhalla pretty frequently. Brawlhalla is still fairly played at I think concurrently 30-something thousand players on Steam by itself at
Really?
least. Yeah, Brawlhalla is still heavily played,
see.
It is wild.
and it's the only other free-to-play fighting game at the moment. So it's once again, both of them are platform fighters and play completely differently, but it's been actively played since it launched. So I don't know. I feel like Multiverses is definitely way better gameplay-wise than Brawlhalla. And I think they have a lot more potential with the characters they can bring in. It's just whether or not they start bringing in good characters. Because LeBron, I get it. It's funny. It's funny to play as LeBron James in a fighting game. That's kind of neat. Next one that they've already announced is Rick and Morty, which is we saw that coming, but I don't really think I'm very hyped for it. We need to start seeing some better characters in that game, which Zane has a great one that he brought up the other night. Would you like to tell us?
It's got to be Johnny Bravo, dog.
Johnny Bravo would be lit.
Yeah, I
would
agree.
love to see him. His voice acting is. I think the guy. I can't remember his name. I'm not even gonna try. Not even gonna guess. But what I want to see is Jim Bob's. Give me your best Morty impression.
Oh, that's it.
Thank you.
Solid.
I'm voicing Morty in Multiverses.
Okay, sick.
You'll see my name in the credits soon.
Nice.
But this might be out there one. I think Courage the Cowardly Dog would be awesome.
I think it'd be a neat one, yeah.
I think anything from that era of cartoons
Would just be lit.
really thrives because
Dexter from Dexter's Lab.
Yo, I think the Kids Next Door could be like a cool, like, sort of either like Pokemon trainer, or it could go more so into like Ice Climbers.
Yeah, that'd be kind of neat.
That'd be sick.
I think that's really cool. I think that'd be a really cool design. You know what I really like about Multiverses that I'll give credit to?
Mm-hmm.
Tom and Jerry.
Oh my god, they are perfectly
Because
done.
I think they are the best example of like the characters feeling like the characters.
Like, of what can be done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like all their moves is Tom trying to get Jerry or Jerry clapping back against Tom, and it just happens to damage the other people around him.
It just works.
Yeah, it's nice.
Like if you look at the animations, it's Tom. Like when you use your hammer, Tom's not trying to hit you with a hammer. He's trying to hit Jerry and misses, and technically that's his move. But they're fighting their own fight outside of the game.
It's like you're that bulldog that just got shit on all the time.
Yeah,
Spike, yeah.
yeah. So you get to be. I think that's really well done. The fact that it's their world, we're living in it. That's that's what it feels like. I think that's in all the anime. I think the animations are great. Voice acting is great. The roster being behind money, not great.
So you're free to play, yes.
No.
Okay.
That is not. That is the exact opposite of what I was working towards.
I think it's weird because I can see Multiverses being very successful if it keeps going the way it's going. They got to add some more interesting characters, though, because the current rosters are, like, okay. And the current characters we know are coming are also okay. I'd like to see some more interesting picks, some more, like, hype picks for sure. We know Gandalf's supposed to be coming at some point because he's had voice lines since, like, the early alpha.
So I've never watched Game of Thrones. I don't know, why would they add someone like, I've never heard of this Arya Stark.
I've never watched it either.
Why wouldn't they add like Jon Snow that everyone knows the name of?
I think it's only a matter of time
Because
for him.
He's just Arya Stark is like her sister. I've only seen parts of the show. She basically has a sword too, but she's also an assassin. From my understanding, it's just like
is she like a main character?
Dude, there's so many characters in that show. It's hard to
keep track.
I'd say yes, because start to finish, she's always there.
Okay.
You know, she's there from season 1 till the end. She doesn't get killed off by George R.R. Martin.
Okay.
No, or
Yeah.
Romero.
I might accept.
You know, whatever his name, Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, whoever. Whoever you are.
Whoever wrote those dumb books.
but yeah. So I think games as a free to play fighting games as a free to play could strive. I would like to see a traditional fighting game go free to play and see how that one does.
If you can't gatekeep me the roster, that's where you lose me.
Yeah.
I think it's a decent balance at the moment because, like, yes, the roster you have to unlock for online play, but realistically, most people who play fighting games, you're playing them with your friends sitting down somewhere, you know, and they let you play all the characters like that.
I think if
It's a good system.
you were able to pick like a few characters off the bat and then you can work your way up, that would be different than being given a handful of characters that you might not want to play any of them.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
Especially because like the content drip, it's only going to, the cost of entry is going to keep growing for the full roster. You're going to have to keep sinking hours of your life into it to finally save up to get the new character, or just flat out hand whoever made it $10. Give me let me play the character. Like when Johnny Bravo comes out, everyone who wants to play him day one either probably has to save up money and sacrifice working towards the roster now to flesh it out to get it, or just like I said, hand whoever made it $10.
Or it could also be like a thing of maybe when they get a bigger roster, they can have like free rotation.
Free rotation would be nice.
It wouldn't be bad, but I think it would be better to just give full roster.
Now, I will say, I think they should also work on making it easier to get the the in-game gold coins to unlock the characters, because currently it is a little bit of a slog, more than I would have expected it to have been. Now, granted, there's not as many characters yet, so it's like I guess cool.
How long would you say it takes to get enough coins for a character?
I was able to get enough coins for Superman within like my first night of playing, which I only played maybe like 10 matches. But of course, you get like dailies and stuff. You get to get gold coins. You get weeklies. There's just, of course, promos as well throughout the game, because it's an online game. There's going to be promos.
Okay.
But I did find trying to get the next set of coins after my first character was a little bit rougher. It took me 2 nights to get Garnet. And Garnet is the cheapest character in the game.
Oh, so there's amounts for how much each one is.
Kind of at the moment. So currently, Garnet was 1,500. Most of the characters are 2,000.
I see.
And then the newest characters are anywhere between, from if I remember right, 2,500 to 3,000, I think. So LeBron's probably like 3,000 right now. I'd have to double check, but I think that's about how much he is.
Yo, we almost linked sheeshes.
You should stop. That was terrible.
Yeah.
If that makes it to the pod.
Oh, it's going to stay in there.
It's gonna stay in there.
Pog.
I'm not editing that out.
So we're on 2 no's and a yes, or 2 no's and a maybe.
It's a maybe. I once again, I need to see more on how Multiverse is, because obviously, Brawlhalla is still here. It's been here for years now. Multiverses, I think it's going to at least last a year or two at minimum, I think, before we see something happen, whether it's going to stick around permanently or not. And then I'd like to see a traditional style 2D fighter game instead, not like a platform fighter, just a straight up fighter, or even like a 3D game like Tekken or Dead or Alive. I'd like to see one of those go free to play and see how that does.
I'm very tired of the platform fighter.
Was that Pokemon fighting game free to play? Pokemon Tournament?
No, it was not free to play. You had to buy it.
And that was bad.
It was
I
good.
see.
It's good.
It
Zane
was,
just doesn't like the fact they tampered with traditional Tekken gameplay.
It was good when you actually got to play it in the 2D, like the 2D, 3D style. When there's there's 2 phases that it bounces
When it's
between.
face
The field
on.
phase and the fight phase.
Third-person shooter, and then an actual fight.
the over the shoulder.
Yeah, yeah. It becomes Last of Us 2, and then you have to shoot your goop at the enemy, and then you get to actually play a fighting game, and then it bounces back. That is very annoying.
Yes,
I am not a fan of that. I'm a fan of Pokken when it's a fighting game, and when it's a third-person shooter, I
feel like that should have definitely been like this stage is third person, this stage is 2D.
They should have just cut the third person.
Yeah, I agree. I think the third person doesn't. The third person just doesn't vibe. As someone who played the game for a while, it doesn't vibe with the rest of the game. It throws you off.
They tried something new, and it didn't work. Didn't work. And I hope I never see it again. Honestly, I hope they make a Pokken 2. It does not include that phase.
My big prediction, if they ever make another one, is it's gonna be Pokken Tag Tournament, and it's gonna be just 2v2, but like straight up in the fight phase the entire time. There will be no field phase. That is my prediction.
Sounds a lot more fun than the 3D shooting.
Since Cameron's not here, that will be my
bold prediction.
My bold prediction is if we get another Pokken game ever, it will be Pokken Tag, and it'll be 2v2 and only fight phase. They're gonna get rid of the field phase completely because it's stupid.
Good.
So, speaking of fighting games, which I have not played a lot of, having an opinion on gaming, on a specific game, do you have to play it to have an opinion?
Absolutely not. I'm a lot of no's today. I'm a little ball of negativity. I'm a little narcissist, not narcissist, negative Nancy. Ooh, a little real personality spelled out. I am a bit of a narcotics abuser. I am a narcotics abuser. This is a cry for help.
Oh no.
But no, do you need to play the game to know that it's not for you? No. Obviously no. That's should be the point of game reviewers. The people who can't play video games and write for, IGN. I don't know how that's a job. I really don't. That's insane. And they don't have to be good at it. But no, like when you buy a game or you're thinking about buying a game and you bring it up with a couple of your friends, how often do they say something like, it starts really bad, but if you stick around for 40 hours, then it'll get pog. Final Fantasy 14 looking at.
Okay, that's a little different. Once again, MMOs are on a different subject with that.
MMO is totally, but that's what it comes down to is like they talk about it. I don't have to play Final Fantasy. I did play Final Fantasy 14. I did try it, and I know it's not for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I did try it when it was free. That's the big thing, is that trying it, but games that don't interest me, I don't need to play. And I can still say that they're not for me, and they're not a good game. I can not play it, and I've watched enough content creators and all that. Or like I said, the hour thing, I hate that argument when they're like, it gets really good in the second half, especially for like a single player campaign game.
Cringe.
Yeah, it's cringe.
What's your take, Eric?
I think I agree with Zane on this one. I think, especially on specific games, like if it's a heavy story based game,
like heavy narrative.
Yeah, very heavy narrative. You can go watch that and have the same opinion as someone who played it. A la like Uncharted, Last of Us, and granted, both those games have some interesting gameplay moments, but not enough to justify buying an entire game for them. You can watch someone play them, get the story, you're good, and you know the whole game at that point. You can straight up tell anybody, "Hey, it had a neat story. I suggest playing it," or "The story was awful. Don't go play it," or "Don't go watch it," or whatever. But games that are focused mainly on gameplay, something like, like a Risk of Rain or something like that. That's something I feel like you have to experience in order to know whether you're going to like it or not.
I feel like that's somewhat fair.
Well, there's a difference between having an opinion on if a game is good or if a game's like
for you
story is bad.
Like that. Yeah.
Like let's say Binding of Isaac,
right?
Like a sort of Risk of Rain kind of gameplay. You could say that, like the story is bad or whatever, which no one does. There's not really a
story.
There's not really like a narrative there.
There is.
There's just not a lot of it. It's just something you go through over and over and over again. But to say that like a gameplay is bad when you haven't played with it, I don't think you could say that unless it's like absolutely terrible, like something glitches or something like that.
Bell in Wonderworld.
That is a good point. I don't need to play Bell in Wonderworld to know
I don't
that
know what
game.
that is.
Probably the biggest failed project of last year.
It was the beginning of this year, I think. It was the beginning of this year.
It was basically, it was a, I don't know what it was supposed to be. It's supposed to be like a new Kingdom Hearts.
No, it's supposed to be a,
Wasn't it made by Square Enix?
It was published by Square Enix. It was made by the dude who made both the Dreams games, or sorry, not Dreams, the Knights games, and the original Sonic 3D games. Yuji Naka was the main developer behind it. They hired him on to make a 3D platformer for them, and it turned out really, really shittily. It was so half baked. It was awful. Come to find out recently, after a more recent lawsuit from Yuji Naka to Square Enix, they kicked him off the project like almost a year before the game came out. So that's why it was half baked. They didn't even get to finish it.
I see.
They fired him before he could finish the product, so they just threw it together. And it was really bad. But no, I think on the comment of gameplay, I can't say how. Okay, I don't play the Spider-Man games for Sony. I'm a big Sony fan. I don't care to feel like Spider-Man because that's what everyone says. When you play, you really feel like Spider-Man. I don't care. Honestly, bro.
But I do fully agree that like you don't have to have an opinion. You don't have to play the game to really like have an opinion on the game as a whole. Like I've never played The Last of Us 2, and we're not really going to go into it because everyone's talked about this game. But
I'll go into it. I'll go with you. They launched it without multiplayer and still tried to charge me $60.
That's true.
By their own standard, the first game came with multiplayer and a story mode. You took away the multiplayer, so why is it the same price?
It's the same as like Left 4 Dead. Like, how are you going to have a campaign and then not have a versus mode? Like, if a Left 4 Dead 3 came out without a versus mode, that game would fail.
Yes,
you can't, and especially charge me the same amount. That's what kills me, bro. And so, everyone says vote with your dollar, and that's what I'm doing. Is I'm never going to buy Last of Us 2. because I don't support that they took out what was one of my. Listen, everyone talks about Last of Us story, whether you like it, you don't. That's the main draw in, but not for this. Not for this little dreamer, this little kid.
Are you gonna get Last of Us remastered remake?
Probably it has multiplayer.
Will it?
Does it? I don't think it does.
What?
I kind of doubt it will.
I don't think
honest.
The Last of Us 1 remaster remake.
I don't think it's gonna have multiplayer because they're making
It's-
it. They're focusing on
it's Last of Us.
on a multiplayer game they're making right now that plays
I'm
exactly the
saving
same as
your
the
butt.
multiplayer.
Just give me my multiplayer, bro. Like, stop holding it hostage. I will send dick pics to Sony Santa Monica.
We need to start. We need to start that chain.
I know they're not in control of it, but they're still getting them. I know you know somebody at the other Sony office, Naughty Dog.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they straight up said when they announced it that it will not have the multiplayer involved when they announced it.
Zane's vibe just
Because they were like, it's not going to have multiplayer, but we are making a game that plays like the multiplayer.
cringe.
I don't care. Let me have it.
Do you think they're going to charge separately for that separate game?
It sounds like
Yes!
it might. They haven't stated it
No,
yet
really?
because it looks like it might be a games as a service game, so it might be free to play. We'll have to wait and see.
I swear to God, stop making things free to play. I want to spend my money and get guaranteed what I'm getting. I'm tired of being like, I guess I'll gamble my time because not to flaunt. I'm getting I get money. I get bitches and money. No, but mostly money. I work a job. I make my money, and then I'm like, ooh boy, let me go out and get something. And then these free to play games always feel like a gamble. It's like, let me sink my time into. Let's say I make $20 an hour. I sink an entire 8-hour shift into it. That's $100 some odd bucks. I'm not good at math. Don't tell my boss because my job does involve a lot of math. I do payroll actually too, so probably should be good with money. No, but these free to play games you sink so much time into, and then they're mid, and I'm tired. I'm tired of it being mid. I'm tired of mid free to play games. The appeal of free to play is lost on me. Let me buy. If I went out and got a free sandwich, you wouldn't eat that sandwich. If someone on the street handed you a free sandwich with no information other than that it is between two pieces of bread.
It depends what they look like. Like if it was
profiling over here?
no, if it was if someone was in a business suit, like tux everything.
No.
Oh, they drugged that shit.
I might assess.
Absolutely
drug that
not.
shit.
The only time I'm taking a free sandwich is if the guy is in like a cook uniform. I'm not taking a sandwich from a businessman.
The only time I'm taking a free sandwich is if I walk into like an actual sandwich shop and they're like, "Hey, here's a free one, buddy."
That dude probably eats kale, bro. I'm trying to eat an arugula sandwich.
Yo, he said the arugula.
Arugula? What'd you pack for lunch there, Chief? Yeah, my wife made me arugula and Dijon mustard on whole wheat gluten-free bread.
You've lost me at everything about that
And
sandwich.
you said you wouldn't eat it if it was free?
No. I'd rather go to the sandwich shop, hand them legal U.S. tender, and then they give me what I asked for, which was probably like a turkey and Swiss on rye.
See, I'm just crazy like that.
Jim Bob's unpredictable.
Unhinged, some might say.
How was he the one to not get COVID?
I got COVID twice.
Yeah, so he said COVID twice.
Maybe stop taking free sandwiches from these people.
Listen, whether it's at the gym or outside of Walmart, I'm going to take a free sandwich.
Yikes.
That's
Those are the two worst places.
That's the nastiest thing I could have imagined.
Oh my god. Gotta take off the sunglasses for this one.
I have a scenario, but I will say it after the pod.
So, let's follow this having opinion on a game. Do you need to play it? What is one game that you absolutely hate that you've never played?
Ooh.
Genshin Impact.
Okay, I was gonna say other than Left 4 Dead, Last of Us 2. But what's the hate on Genshin Impact?
The hate on Genshin Impact?
Mhm.
It's a grind fest.
I've actually never seen any gameplay or anything on it, to be honest.
It looks all right. The soundtrack bobs. I'll give it that. I'll say that. I will admit, when the Genshin Impact sweaters come out, and they're like, "Well, here's all the reasons why you should play." They did get me with the soundtrack. There is a couple certified hood classics in that soundtrack. But I'll just listen to that on YouTube.
Oh
Yeah.
But it's so much. Yes, it's free. There's a lot of content, and that's supposed to be appeal. But to me, it feels overwhelming. There's too much, and it's a slog to get it all. It's not like it'd be like if you played, I don't know. Let's go with Cameron's topic, Halo.
Ooh, got him.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about.
You brought it up.
Yeah, let's say we're playing Halo, and you don't get the energy sword until you put in 400 hours.
Yeah.
But there's some dude, back to my point, saying that, bro, once you get that sword, though, you're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to have a lot of fun once you put in 400 hours.
Is it also one of the gacha?
It has gacha
game?
game mechanics for characters and specific weapons.
I guess my hate might be more towards MMO.
It might be.
Let me think of one that isn't an MMO.
While you're doing that, I will say real quick, as a casual Genshin enjoyer, I don't play it heavily. I don't spend money on it. It's one of those games where I'll come back to it, like, I'll play it for like a week or two, like, sink time into it, and be like, okay, I've had my fun. The open world is very nice. There's actually a lot to go out and do in the open world. The characters, well, yeah, the better ones
There's
are...
an open world?
Oh, it's completely open world. It's like a
I thought
Breath
it
of
was
the
just a
Wild
phone
clone.
game.
It's phone and console.
Oh.
It's impressive it can run on a phone the way it looks, honestly. But yeah, the character grind is a little bit of a slog, but they do hand you off the bat a group of characters to fill out your party, and they all can be leveled up to, like, they're all decent ranked characters, and your main character is a 5-star character, so... And honestly, in my opinion, the main character is the best character in the game. I know a lot of Genshin Impact players would probably be like, oh my god, what are you talking about? He sucks. I've done literally everything in Genshin Impact with the main character as my like best character. He is great. Now, granted, I do have other 5 stars because I've played the game for a while, grinded out some of the in-game currency to unlock more characters, and they're fun and all. But I always go back to the main character. Something about the way he plays is dope, especially because, kind of a spoiler alert if you've never played it, your main character is the only one that can switch his element based on which land you go to. Like, if you go to the land of... The first land you are in is, like, the wind area. So your character starts off as a wind character. But then if you go to, like, the next continent is, like, the earth continent, you can go touch a statue there of one of the gods there, and you could swap to earth and get different abilities. And you could do that in any continent.
And can you, like, on the spot switch back and forth between stone
No,
and
you
wind
do have to
now,
go
or do you
back
have
to the other continent, sadly.
Okay.
That is the only downfall of that, which makes him a little less accessible if you need to, like, go fight a certain specific element enemy.
Okay.
And of course, not all the continents are out yet because they're dripping those out with... I mean, they're fully fleshed out, like, explorable continents. But so far, I mean, from what I play, is like a very casual... I don't think I've spent any money on the game. Not that I remember, at least. As a casual player, I enjoy the game every now and then. The story's a little convoluted because, it's anime game, so it gets a little wacky there. But the gameplay's solid. There's a lot to spend your time in. So I enjoy it casually. Once again, I'm not going to sit here and defend it because there are a lot of, like... I'm sure there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that I probably wouldn't agree with if I knew what was going on with it. But so far, the game itself is okay. Anyway, Zane, what was your other thing?
Well, no. What is a game that you hate that you've never played?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So now I'm done, like, kind of like White Knight and Genshin a little bit there.
I was gonna say.
on behalf of all Genshin players,
Yeah, no. I'm just saving us for that Genshin sponsorship
Oh, yeah,
later
we
on.
will.
we will get Genshin hate if Eric wasn't here.
Yeah, and
They come out of the woodwork. You
I'm-
mentioned their game is bad. There are defenders.
they're gonna come out and well, that's why I said I had to defend it
like
because
Bomb.
just in case that Genshin Impact sponsorship somewhere down the road, But no,
Raid Shadow Legends.
God, it's only a matter of time. I think if we ever start taking sponsorships, it's only a matter of time.
Would you guys, as the pod, sell out to Raid Shadow Legends? None of you playing it?
Well, you are big management. Would we?
Absolutely. I hope.
We're all pretty poor.
Yeah, I was about to say, honestly, I hear Raid Shadow Legends pays their sponsors dummy good.
I would genuinely have to play it beforehand, though. I'd have to make sure that there is no, like, very malicious behavior going on.
Are you saying you'd have to have an opinion on the game
Uh-oh.
They're-
by playing it?
If they're paying me?
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess it's different.
I feel like
Yeah. If I'm going to advertise it, I should probably have played it at least,
if they're going to pay me, to talk about it, yes.
You're not gonna just read it off like a drone.
You just phone in work, Jim Bob. Your boss pays you, and you're like, "Well, I don't actually have to do that." You know, it's just like a suggestion. I just say I did it.
Yeah, come on.
And I say I did a really good job.
Of course.
Okay, but yeah, now a game I haven't played that I I just completely dumpster on, even though I haven't played it.
If you don't have anything, I think Zane has this a second one that's on MMO, right? It sounded like you were ready for it.
Oh yeah, there is
Go for it.
there is all EA Sports games.
That's so easy.
That's free. That's free.
So free. That's a free space in the middle of a bingo card.
I know I'm not like other girls. I'm quirky.
I hate EA games.
I'm built different. No, so I'm an avid Halo hater, and I've never played, and I won't. You can't. Make me.
So, do you hate it because you've seen the gameplay, or do you hate it because you just hear about it so much and you hear that it's so good that you're like, shut the fuck up?
Everything that's supposed to be really cool about it, everyone's talked about to death, and now I know the entire story of Halo, so I don't get to experience that. I only get to experience like the gunplay, but I don't want to. I experience enough. There's no shot a shooter game is going to feel so different.
It's not over over the shoulder though.
Neither is enlisted.
That's fair.
Pew pew.
Pew, 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 pew.
Man.
I'd say that covers it, but I'll take that free space though.
Yeah.
If we had, that'd be a fun game. Make a bingo card for what topics we bring up. Halo's the free space
Have
here.
you brought up? Well, we did bring up sending dick pics to people.
Oh no.
Let's make a bingo board for the pod so that the viewers can go have it at home for the audio only.
Maybe we'll have to figure that out.
Whoever gets a bingo first gets to
Write us in.
add a bit that we do.
Yeah, add a bit or give us a suggestion for a topic that they've been waiting to hear about.
Like the unemployment rate rising.
No, we're not talking about
one
that.
game that I have not played that I'm going to dog on right now is the Ratchet and Clank reboot. Not the one that was made after the movie.
Okay, so the tie-in game for the movie.
The quote-unquote tie-in game that brings back the maps and stuff. Dog shit.
Fair enough.
The original game is just a masterpiece in my opinion, but just to change what was good about the game is just bad in my opinion. I don't know if you guys have ever played Ratchet and Clank.
I played a little bit of the originals, and I did play the new one a little bit because it was free to play on PlayStation
I've
for a
heard
bit.
the newest one was.
Oh no,
good.
not Rift Apart. I meant the movie reboot one.
You have
I
played
played a
that one?
little bit of it, and it's okay. I definitely would take the original Ratchet and Clanks over it, but it's okay.
I haven't played any of the new ones, but my favorite one, like I still boot it up on a PS2, is Dreadnought, where you get your two robot partners. Remember that
we
one?
have talked about this before, I believe.
Dog, that one just hits, bro. You're like in like a death arena, like you're part of a game show the entire game, and that's the plot, is that you're in an arena fighting other fighters as Ratchet and Clank, and then you get to have two little robots that you get to customize, and they both talk mad shit to you and everyone around. It's a fun. It's the peak fun for Ratchet and Clank for me.
So I don't think I've talked about it on the podcast, but I think it was earlier this year or maybe late last year, I replayed through the first 3 Ratchet and Clank games on definitely not an emulator.
Okay.
And
Support the official release.
I have all 3 games on official release. I could have booted up on PS2, but
and you did.
I did
Legally.
and I played the remastered versions on not an emulator, and I started to boot up the 4th game, and it was not remastered, and it looked dog shit, and I shut it down. But I'll definitely have to check out the Dreadnought one.
No, it's just a lot of fun.
I'll definitely check that out soon.
You get 2 little robos, and they talk shit. And I remember there was I'm a big multiplayer head. I love playing couch co-op specifically.
Oh yeah.
Playing with your friend, you guys had this tether around your neck so you couldn't go too far apart.
I see.
I know, a little kinky, right? So
Oh,
me
no.
and my, not to, off topic, we're never taking the kinky label away because I play with my cousin. I don't want that label out there. I don't want the kinky cousin. But if you got too far apart, you both died, and you
I
have to
see.
start the level over. See, so that was how they managed the screen and basically managed how much of the PS2 you were using, so that way you.
So it wasn't really split screen then, was it? Or was it?
It was split screen,
It was.
but you couldn't get too far apart.
That
way
wouldn't make any sense for a shooter game.
because it was split screen. But if you got too far apart, you guys would. It basically prevented it from overclocking. I guess I don't know what the word is. Start looking dog. Things stop rendering because you're basically rendering two things at once.
I feel you.
I have been sitting here long and hard trying to think of a game that,
Not a game hater
like,
for games you haven't played.
not entirely. There is one that kind of came to mind finally. And it's just I have no interest. I wouldn't say hate, but I have no interest in playing them, and they're a fan favorite game for years upon years now. The Crash Bandicoot franchise. I have no interest whatsoever. I just can't find myself to want to play any of them. I like Spyro the Dragon, which I know was like the partner game at the time. I love those games. I have no interest in Crash. I have never seen the appeal in Crash Bandicoot other than hard platforming.
What, dude? He's got jean shorts. That huge appeal. He eats fruits. Huge appeal.
What kind of animal is he?
A bandicoot.
A bandicoot.
Oh, I didn't know that was the.
Yeah. Thank you, Jim Bob.
No problem. But yeah, I mean, I feel you.
I just straight up like I've never seen the appeal once again outside of hard platformer.
Okay,
that's about it.
But you are a Crash Team Racing enjoyer, right?
Ooh.
I don't know if I've actually played that.
Hey yo!
I've played Diddy Kong Racing. I've played the Sonic Racing games. I've played regular Mario Kart.
You know what game went hard on the PS2? Looney Tunes Racing.
I don't think I played that
one. The Looney Tunes Racing game, bro. I remember that ish.
I'll have to dig that one up now and see if I can find that so we can try it out because that
probably
sounds
have
dope.
it in my collection somewhere.
So Jim Bob is a known Mario Kart sweater. I think you would really enjoy CDR, Crash Team Racing.
I'll have to assess. I'm not. Growing up, one of my favorite games was Need for. I think it was either Need for Speed or some other game type on the PS2 where it was something.
Really,
Rampage.
one of your favorite games? Huh? You can't even remember its name.
I can't remember the name of the game. I can't find the disc for the game either.
Oh no,
It's gone. It was either Need for Speed Rampage or something else along those lines. One of the other
racing games back
then. And you could just knock your opponents into the scenery on the sides and just blow them up, and it'll give you boost. Oh, that game was really fun in my opinion. But
a little destruction of property.
Yeah, I've never really been big into racing games other than Mario Kart.
I want to say I literally was sitting here digging through my brain to think of what game you're talking about. I think it was Burnout Rampage.
Burnout Rampage, yes.
As soon as you said destroying stuff, I was like, that sounds like Burnout because it's an arcade racer.
Burnout is lit.
Lit, more like.
Never heard of it, fell off.
No, shit, never heard of it, fell off. Yeah.
I might have to check that though.
It's they remastered it. It's out on
PlayStation and Xbox, I think,
and
Switch.
Even the Switch, yeah.
I think it's on all three, yeah.
Well, I have a Switch, so might have to set on there.
I'm sure it's on Steam.
It might be too.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'd have to assume.
But yeah, so I think
we got one more topic to go into.
Yeah, it's another fan favorite. I told you guys at the start I puppeteer every episode. It's another one of my questions. Video game items have always been like crucial, whatever game it is, whether you're Link in the Master Sword or another example, second example, Crash in his jean shorts. You gotta have his jean shorts.
Sure.
what's your guys' favorites? Like when you were your little gamer, or even a big gamer. We're gamers still. We're still gaming. What's an item that you got in game that when you got you pogged your pants?
I have an immediate answer for this one.
Go for it.
My answer is Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. And it was the Deku Leaf. That completely changed the way you play the entire game. You get these wind mechanics. You can swing it to shoot a wind burst out, to hit targets from afar, to blow back enemies and like knock them off balance. And then you could also float around the game with it. It was sick, and you could even use it, if I remember right. Maybe I'm remembering this bit wrong, but I thought if the wind wasn't so great when you were out on the boat, I thought you could push your boat around with it too. I thought maybe that's my brain remembering that bit wrong, but it had so many uses, and like it opened up so much of that already open world that Wind Waker had. It was so neat.
Yeah, I mean that's I never heard of it. Who's Link? Kind of fell off. Actually.
Fell off mid.
Yeah,
but
nah. Never heard of him.
But that's my immediate answer is the Deku Leaf from Wind Waker in specific, because that's the game that game just felt magical from start to finish. In the Deku Leaf, especially when you get it when you're in the Deku Tree like island, there's something special about that area. That whole area is beautiful. I mean, to be fair, it's such a great area. The item is cool. The whole area is designed around learning how to use the Deku Leaf, how to float with it, how to hit targets from afar with it. It's just, man, it's so good. It's pretty.
I feel like that's a solid answer, because any game that basically midway through you get an item that adds movement, adds to your movement options, always does feel amazing.
It was super neat. Yeah.
I think that's always such a crucial thing is movement. So when you do unlock it, it's always great. So I had one in specific that isn't like something that's like crucial as movement. It's not even something it's in every one of the games, and it's the Moonlight Greatsword in the Souls games. I'm a Souls head. They put it in every game except Bloodborne.
Was it not in Bloodborne? I thought wasn't there an equivalent though? I thought.
Yes, they released it in the DLC.
Oh yeah, that's right.
When I played through the entirety of of Bloodborne, and I beat it before the DLC was out, I was like, I can't believe it. They finally just didn't give me the sword. They didn't give me the strap. I didn't get the Moonlight Greatsword. I never even use it like that in the other games, but it's always. But then when they announced the DLC, you get the DLC. And then the first boss of the area into the DLC, if I remember right, he's got that thing.
Yeah.
He's got the motherfucking thing on him. You got to beat him to get it. Oh, dog, I'm telling you. Mwah. When you finally get that great, and Bloodborne did great with it, with its entirely different gameplay, focused more on like dodging than and interrupting, parrying with your gun and all that. They changed no blocking. There's no blocking.
Yeah,
they really made it feel good. And I remember being like, oh, it was a slow burn. You almost got me. You almost got me that you didn't put it in, but you did, and I'm happy it's here.
Right. Was it in Demon Souls?
I want to come clean. I've never played Demon Souls.
That's fair. I played a little bit of the original, and then I bought the remaster on PS5, and I only played a little bit of that too, because it's something about that game compared to the other ones. Like, I know it's what started the games off. It's what started the phenomenon we know now as the Souls games. Mm-hmm. But it just feels so janky comparatively to and once again, probably because it was the first one. It was a PS3, almost like a prototype originally. But even with like the remastered game on PS5 where they cleaned up a lot of stuff and whatnot, it still just feels so janky comparatively to the other ones.
Yeah, I'll borrow that if you don't mind. You have it, or do you have it digitally?
I had it physically. I don't know if I still have it, because beginning of the year, if you remember, I was out of a job for a little bit, so I did trade in some games. I had to see if I still have it or not. If I don't, it's not that expensive to re-pick up. I don't think, at like GameStop or something.
Yeah, it's free if you just go in and take it.
Oh, true, yeah. You got me there.
Very true. Just like that sandwich that someone's giving me.
No, that's not the same. That's not the same. Cannot compare. Jim Bob, what about you? What is your video game item?
So, I was pondering this, and one of my favorite items in a video game is in Ratchet and Clank. I believe it's the second one or the third, where you get this electric shotgun that just absolutely mows down enemies. especially on this one level where you're on the side of a building using your magnet boots, and you can just hit the enemies once, and you don't even kill them with the shotgun. They just fall to their deaths into the water below, and it just feels so satisfying. So that is my item.
Committing genocide. That's insane.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're robots, I think.
They don't have rights.
We
They
hope.
don't have rights.
Next
Yeah.
podcast topic: do robots have rights? The answer is no.
Well, I'm hearing they're starting to actually become sentient, so
I'm actually.
they might be getting rights soon.
Will they?
I sure hope not. I sure hope. They
I
don't.
doubt that we'll actually give them rights, but the question of should we give them rights will probably be coming up soon.
My fleshlight will not be getting rights.
Mine will. That actually does already have rights, so
You're already out of contract and everything, I see.
they vote for third party specifically.
Okay, that's fair.
I think that about covers it. What are we looking?
I think that's about it.
What are we looking on time?
1 hour and 10.
Not bad at all.
Not bad.
I think with that, I'll just plug the outro at this point.
Oh, yeah.
So once again, as always, we just started a Twitter last episode. It is the @ is Arclight Brigade. I didn't get to say it last time, but I linked it in the description. I'll do it again. I tried to get Arclight Podcast or Arclight Studios, and both of those I had to put a 1 behind. And I was like, absolutely not. I'll just make it Arclight Brigade. Just like the email, you can email us at arclightbrigade@gmail.com.
Yes.
Big management over here, Zane, is give us your Twitter handle real quick.
At bigmanagement.us.
Is it really .us at the end?
I think it's big management US.
Okay,
Someone
cool.
took big management. But no, I am at big management US.
So
no,
it was.
I'd say email us in. What are your guys' favorite video game items? I feel like that's such a crucial part to anyone who's ever gamed, and I think everyone's answer is always going to be different. And I love hearing it. Like I love hearing about the chocobo leaf or whatever.
the Deku Leaf, yeah, from Legend of Zelda.
It's not the same.
It's different.
Different game.
In your Magna Guard boots.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't listening.
I heard the magnet boot part.
Yeah, I heard the magnet boots. Say everything you just said from the start of the podcast to now. Go.
Hello.
Morty impression.
Rick.
No, but feel free to email us. By us, I mean them. But no.
No, email Zane.
It is. My email is big.management.us@gmail.com.
Email him.
If you want,
Email them your dick pics.
I will respond. I have nothing better to do. I will respond. Ask me anything. I know a lot about these guys. I can see them. I'm in the room with them. I got their longitude, their latitude, their IP addresses, credit cards. Just let me know.
Another thing I'd like to plug here at the ending, we were considering a different topic today as well that we didn't really end up digging into because we weren't sure how to tackle it or what exactly to talk about with it. But the three of us here, especially, I know Cameron as well, when he's around, and surprisingly Pat listens to a lot of stuff too. We all are very big fans of music in general. A couple different genres thrown out between everybody here, but let us know either through the Twitter or the email. Would you guys be interested in hearing us talk about music every now and then? It doesn't have to be every episode.
And
but
if so, do you have any topics? Would you like to hear anything about anything specifically, or would you want us to listen to a artist altogether and then possibly give our opinion on that?
Like I said, I am the puppeteer. These guys are very impressionable. You demand. It's like Sony Santa Monica. You send them your dick pics, they will do whatever you want for them.
only you don't have to do it with that. You don't have to do it with the dick pics. So we'll just send us the questions. We'll do it.
Just ask us.
Yeah. And outside of that, I think it's good to hit ourselves with the usual stay gaming.
Stay gaming.
Stay gaming.